Hello, good evening and welcome to Live at 5 Hatha Yoga with me, yoga teacher Lesley Wilson, bringing you lots of love from the south coast, Hayling Island. Not quite so sunny today, a little bit patchy, but at least it was dry. So I managed to teach a face-to-face class this morning in my friend's garden, which was amazing. So yeah, really nice to have a bit of interaction there, apart from with the people in the queue outside Sainsbury's. So yeah, that was lovely, really enjoyed that. So yeah, going to keep that going for the time being. And of course this live at 5 slot every day for the foreseeable. So yeah, it's become a bit of a routine for me now. So about 20 past 4 I'll get myself a cup of tea and or a cup of green tea or whatever I'm in the mood for, and then sort of that's cool enough for me to drink just before I come and teach this class, so it keeps me able to speak for an hour. Okay, so I'm going to see who else is popping on, see how many people are going to join this evening. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So I don't think we've got anybody. No, looks like no one's on yet. So we'll just give it a few more minutes just to see what's going to happen and see who's going to join. So I have had some notifications saying that people aren't, sometimes I don't know if any of you use Facebook Live, but you get a little red box in the corner with live, and then you get a black box with how many people are joining you live. So a couple of times in the past, it's looked like I've got no one watching because I've had no black box, and then I've had comments afterwards saying yes, people had joined me. So there we go. So I'll just carry on anyway, whether anyone's here with me or not. And at least I've done another hour's worth of yoga today, even if no one else has. So let's let's begin. Namaste and welcome. So we're just going to begin this evening with some breath awareness. So quite simple, just sitting in a seated comfortable position. You can have your back supported by a wall or by a piece of furniture or back of the bottom of the sofa, whatever's comfortable for you. Don't have to be cross-legged, you can sit however you prefer, as long as you're comfortable. We're going to be here for a few minutes. So working with some breath awareness now. So bringing the hands so that the palms are facing up to the ceiling. So we don't need to have a hasta mudra or a hand gesture, just having the hands nice and relaxed so the fingers are curled as if you were in Shavasana. So we're going to straighten the spine, lift the crown of the head, maybe try and open up across the front of the chest, using those muscles that support the spine to hold you nice and upright. And then let's just gently close the eyes. Allow the breath to settle, just breathing smoothly in and out through the nostrils, just at your own pace. No need to try and lengthen or do anything special with the breath. Just allowing the breath to flow freely. So just taking the awareness to the breath now. And then maybe ask yourself whereabouts in the body you can feel the breath. So maybe it's in the belly, the lower abdomen. Might be in the rib cage. Maybe the breastbone or the sternum. And maybe you can feel it in the top chest, in the clavicular area. And perhaps you feel the breath in the shoulders. Maybe you feel the shoulders moving slightly as you continue to breathe. And I'm sure you can feel it in the nostrils. And then maybe just ask yourself how the breath actually feels. So, is it laboured? Is it smooth? Is it rhythmic? How does the breath feel today in your body? And then we're going to introduce a little movement now, just with the fingers, very simple, in synchronisation with the breath. So the next time that you breathe in, straighten the fingers, stretch them away, spread them out. And then when you breathe out, allow the hand to relax and just bring the hand back to where the fingers are lightly curled. So breathing in, stretching away the fingers, straightening them, and breathing out, relax. Breathing in, straighten the fingers, stretch them away. As you breathe out, relax the hand, the fingers will naturally curl. And then just continue working in this way with your own breathing rate. And then as you continue with this movement, maybe focus on, perhaps maybe there's a little pause that occurs at the end of the inhalation or at the end of the exhalation. Maybe there's no right or wrong here. But see if you can focus to see if there is a pause. And then the next time that you breathe out, we can release this activity with the fingers and the breath. Allow the hands to just relax. And then we're going to come down onto the mat for a short relaxation. So, coming into Shavasana, your best version of your relaxation posture. So you can stretch away the legs as long as the lower back allows. Make sure you've got a nice big space between the heels, allow the feet to just flop apart. So if that's uncomfortable for any reason, bend the knees, but take the feet nice and wide and allow the knees to just fall in together. So we'll just take the arms a little way away from the sides of the body, palms facing up towards the ceiling. The hands are nice and relaxed now, so the fingers just curl naturally. And then if the neck allows, you can lift the head, look down the centre of the body, rest the head back down on the mat, and then just close the eyes if you haven't already done so. And then let's just enjoy a few steady breaths here. hug the knees in towards the chest, clasp the hands around the outside of the shins. Let's begin to ease out the back, so just rocking gently from side to side, head and knees going in the same direction. So you just ease out the back, giving that spine a gentle massage. And then we can start to ease out the neck, so still rocking from side to side, but head going in one direction, knees in the other. And then we'll come back to centre. Let's place the two hands on the kneecaps, keeping the knees together, both knees going in the same direction. We can circle the knees, so just warming up the hips, the lower abdomen, the lower spine. And then let's go back in the other way. And then still circling the knees, but we'll send them off in opposite directions now. So making those circles as wide as you can, so you're really working the hips. And then we'll come on back to centre. Let's place the 2 feet flat on the floor. Heels just underneath the buttocks, making sure the feet are hip width apart. And then we can take the arms down by the sides of the body, palms facing downwards. We're going to warm up with a gentle pelvic tilt. So remember, this is not the lifting of the hips. This is just a gentle rocking backwards and forwards with of the pelvis in time with the breath. So when you next breathe out, round the spine, bringing the pelvis forwards, push the back of the waist into the mat. And when you breathe in, arch the spine, lifting the back of the waist off the mat. Pelvis tilts backwards. So breathing out, rounding the spine, pelvis tilts forwards. Breathing in, arching the spine, pelvis tilts backwards. So breathing out, rounding. And breathing in, arching. And then just continue with your own breathing. And then we can release this activity with the spine and come into a neutral position. So we're going to work with the bridge and the flowing bridge. So as always, it's really important to keep the face looking directly in front of you as opposed to the side. But the next time that you take a breath in, push down on the soles of the feet, the backs of the arms and the shoulder blades, and lift the hips up as high as you can. And then breathing out, rolling the spine smoothly down, one vertebra at a time. So breathing in, lifting up, maybe a bit higher, feeling that in the glutes, the thighs, the muscles that support the lower spine, and breathing out, rolling smoothly down. And then I'm just going to leave you to work with this at your own pace. And the next time that you take a breath in and lift the hips up, float the hands up to the ceiling and take them all the way back to the wall behind you. And then when you breathe out, float the arms back down to starting position. So breathing in, lifting up, arms up and back. And then breathing out, lowering everything gently back down. So a few more of these with your own breath. And then no need to rush or hurry, but the next time that you breathe out and lower the hips and lower the arms, you can release this activity. So we're going to work with a hip opener now. Let's place the outer edge of the right foot on top of the left thigh. Lift the head, right hand goes through the triangle gap, join the hands together around the back of the left thigh, rest the head back down and draw the left thigh in towards the chest. So you're opening up the right hip and stretching the piriformis muscle. And then just keep breathing. And then release, swap sides, so right foot down on the mat, outer edge of the left foot will come and rest on the right thigh. And then once again, lift the head, left hand through the triangle gap, rest the head back down, and then just draw that right thigh in towards the chest. And then release. Place both feet back down on the mat now. We'll work with a spinal twist, so arms out to the sides of the body. If you don't have the space, bend the elbows and just cactus the arms. So you can leave the feet resting on the mat, or you can hug the knees closer in towards the chest, whichever you prefer. But if you normally do it one way, maybe try the other and see how that feels. So the next time that you breathe out, take the knees over to the right, and then if that feels okay for the neck and spine, turn the face to the left and just hold it there. Keep breathing. And then take a breath in, bring the head and knees back to centre. Breathing out, take the knees over to the left and turn the face to the right. So when we're working with these spinal twists, ideally both shoulders should stay on the floor. However, If you feel the right shoulder lifting a little way, it's not the end of the world. It's just the way it is. Breath in to come back to centre. Breathing out, take the knees back over to the right and turn the face to the left. Let's just hold it there. Take a breath in, come back to centre. Breathing out, take the knees back over to the left and turn the face to the right. And then take a breath in, come back to centre. Let's stretch away the legs. Take the arms down by the sides of the body, palms facing downwards. So we'll work with some leg raises. We'll do 5 single leg raises with the right leg, 5 with the left. If you're feeling strong, 5 doubles. However, if double leg raises are not for you, for whatever reason, here's a couple of alternatives. So you can start by hugging the knees in towards the chest, extending the legs up to the ceiling, and then hugging them back into the chest again. Otherwise, you can bend the knees as you lower them, or you can just stay with alternate leg raises, or you can have a rest, whichever you prefer. So we'll start with the right leg. Let's take a breath in and take the right leg up to the ceiling. And then breathing out, lower most of the way down, but hover a couple of inches above the ground if you can. Breath in and lift. And breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Last one, breath in to lift. And breathing out to lower the right leg all the way down. Give the legs a little bounce. So we're going to move on to work with the left leg now. So take a breath in and take the left leg up to the ceiling. And breathing out to lower most of the way down. Breath in to lift. And breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Last one, breath in to lift. And breathing out to lower the left leg all the way down. Once again, giving the legs a little bounce. So moving on to work with both legs now, but if double leg raises aren't for you, just remember you can use one of the alternatives or modifications. But if you're joining me, next time you take a breath in, take both legs up to the ceiling, and then breathing out to lower most of the way down. Breath in to lift, breathing out to lower, breath in to lift, breathing out to lower, breath in to lift, breathing out to lower, last one, breath in to lift, and breathing out to lower all the way down. Give the legs a little bounce. So let's hug the knees in towards the chest now. We'll clasp the hands underneath the knees, and then we're going to rock backwards and forwards a few times. And I forgot to say, if this isn't for you, you can rock from side to side. Sorry about that. We'll come up to a seated position. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, matching up the pads of the toes, the balls of the feet and the heels. Okay, so take a breath in, stretch the hands into the centre of the room, bring them all the way up to the ceiling. Looking up at the ceiling if the neck allows, if not, into the centre of the room. And then breathing out, just folding forward from the hips, coming down over the legs. So breath in, stretch out, come up. And breathing out, coming down. Final time, breath in, stretch out, come up. And breathing out, coming all the way down. We're just going to hold this forward fold, just resting here. And keep breathing. And then take a breath in, lift the head, slowly come on up. So we're going to come into a cross-leg position. However, if that isn't for you, for whatever reason, you can take the legs out, extend the legs, nice big space between the heels. So we're going to work with our Kundalini cat-cow stretch. So let's just rest the hands, probably on the knees somewhere. And then we're going to push the chest forwards, lift the head, breathing in. As we breathe out, we'll round the spine, exaggerating that movement, bringing the chin towards the chest. So breathing in, coming forwards, and breathing out, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. You can close the eyes if you wish. So just continue with a few more of these. And then you can just come back to the centre, back into a seated position and prepare to work with a side stretch. So let's bring the left hand into the left hip crease and the right hand will come out to the mat beside you. Take a breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, slide the right hand away. So you might just get to here, that's fine. I've got long arms so my elbow reaches the ground. The most important thing is to keep the left shoulder back. The face can be turned up to the ceiling if that feels okay, otherwise into the centre of the room. Finally releasing the left arm up and across, keep the left arm straight. And then take a breath in, come all the way back up to centre. Bring the right hand into the right hip crease, left hand out to the side of you. Breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, slide the left hand away, right shoulder comes back. And then the right arm will come up and across. And then breath in to come all the way back up. So spinal twist now. Bring the right hand down behind the right hip, left hand onto the right knee. Take a breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, twist from the waist and turn to look over the right shoulder. Just hold it there, keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back to centre. Left hand comes down behind the left hip, right hand to the left knee. Breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, twist from the waist, turn to look over the left shoulder. Just hold it there, keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. So we'll uncross the legs now, if we've had them crossed. Stretch the legs away, give the legs a little bounce or a little roll, whichever feels better. So we're going to be working with our head to knee stretch now, our hamstring stretch. So we're going to be stretching out over the left leg first of all. So bring the right foot in nice and close to the groin. Allow that right knee to drop out to the side. Make sure you come properly up onto the sit bones and have the left toes pointing up to the ceiling. So take a breath in, straighten the spine. As you breathe out, start to ease the left side of the chest down towards the left thigh. So if you haven't done any stretching for a few days, that might feel a bit tight. So you can just allow that muscle to become accustomed to the stretch. And then as you breathe out, you might find you soften down a little bit more. So remember, any pinching or pulling in the lower back, then you just need to come back up a little way and that should relieve it. Similarly, if you extend the arms out and it makes the pinching in the lower back, then just drop the elbows to the mat. then take a breath in, lift the head, slowly come on up. Leave that right knee where it is. We're going to draw the left foot in towards us. Clasp the hands around the sole of the left foot. Try not to let the spine collapse as you extend the left leg out in front of you. My leg doesn't want to be straight today, so I'll let it do what it wants to do. And then I'm going to extend that right leg back away again. Sorry, left leg. Oh. So let's bring the right leg up now. Place the right foot so it's on the outer edge of the left foot. You've got a couple of choices here, so you can either leave that left leg extended, alternatively, if you wish, you can bend the left leg and tuck the left heel underneath the right hip. We're going to bring the right hand down behind the right hip, and you can either hug the left arm around the right knee, or if you wish to, you can bring the left elbow to the outer edge of the right thigh. So, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, breath in, straighten the spine, breathing out, twist from the waist, turn to look over the right shoulder, just hold it there. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. Let's untangle the legs, stretch them both away, give them a little bounce or a roll, whichever feels better for you. So stretching out over the right leg this time, bring the left foot in nice and close to the groin. Allow the left knee to drop out to the side. Make sure you come up onto the sit bones properly. And remember, if this doesn't feel comfortable, have both the legs extended, but make sure you keep a nice big space between the heels. So right toes pointing up towards the ceiling, and then having the hands resting on the right leg. So take a breath in, straighten the spine, breathing out, starting to ease the right side of the chest down towards the right thigh. So again, allowing that muscle to become accustomed to the stretch, and then you can use the breath to take you deeper in. And then take a breath in, lift the head, slowly come on back up. And then we're going to draw the right foot in towards us. Clasp the hands around the sole of the right foot, and then extend the right leg out in front of us. See, this one will straighten, but the left one wouldn't today, so you know what, I'm not going to force it. And then we'll bend that leg, stretch away the right leg again, bring the left foot up and onto the outer edge of the right leg. So again, you can keep that right leg extended, and if you have the left leg straight, then you need to keep the right leg straight, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you can bend the right leg, tuck the right heel underneath the left hip, bring the left hand down behind the left hip, and you can either wrap the right arm around the outside of the left leg, or you can bring the left elbow to the outer edge. The right elbow to the outer edge of the left thigh. Extend the fingers up to the ceiling. Breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, twist from the waist and turn to look over the left shoulder. And then just keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. Let's unravel the legs again, maybe stretch them away, give them a little bounce or a roll, whichever feels best. And then we're going to come into the cat. So coming into the pose of the cat, making sure the weight is evenly distributed throughout the whole of the hand, not just the heel of the hand, but underneath the fingertips and the knuckles, and the whole of the hand there. So fingers spread out nice and wide, middle finger pointing towards the top edge of the mat. Then a little check down to make sure that the knees are in line with the hips. And then we can just do a little bit of cat-cow stretching. So breathing out round the spine, bring the chin to the chest, lift the shoulder blades. As you breathe in, drop the waist, lift the head, lift the tailbone. So breathing out, rounding the spine. And breathing in, arching. So you can work with the eyes open or closed, whichever is your preference. I like to close my eyes when I'm working with this. And then we can release this activity with the spine and come into flat-backed cap on neutral position. And we're going to work with some hip circles. So keeping the hands planted where they are, we're now going to push the hips back and sit on the heels. Then taking the hips over to the right. Bringing the weight forward as you bring the hips to the top, over to the left, and back down towards the heels. So over to the right, up to the top, over to the left, and down to the heels. We'll just do a few more in this direction. And then we'll go back the other way. So over to the left first, then up to the top, over to the right, and back down to the heels. So just working at your own pace. Try and keep them nice and smooth and slow and fluid. And then we can just come back to a seated position, sitting back on the heels if you're able to. I know a lot of people can't. So we're just going to give the wrist a little shake and a little circle. So let's come into a little squat now. And then maybe we can bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position. So just using those toes to help you balance. And then maybe we can twist around to the right. And then come back to centre. And twist around to the left. And come back to centre. Once more round to the right. And back to centre. Once more round to the left. And back to centre. Take the hands straight out in front of you and then come up to stand. Give the legs a little shake. Okay, adjusting any clothing where necessary. Let's take the feet so they're hip width apart. So lift the toes up, spread them all out and lay them all back down. So coming into Tadasana, our mountain pose, roll the shoulders back, lift the crown of the head, tuck in the pelvis, the pubic bone, the abdomen, hands just resting gently by the sides of the body. And then you can close the eyes if you wish to. Crown of the head is lifted, opening up across the front of the chest. Just spending a few moments here in Tadasana, your mountain pose. So nice, strong, straight, steady breaths whilst you're here. And then we can open the eyes if we've had them closed. So Tadasana is a really good grounding pose. So if you're feeling a bit away with the fairies for whatever reason, then especially if you go and stand outside with bare feet on the grass, that's a really, really good way to re-ground yourself, reconnect with the earth. So let's bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, place them on the top of the head now. As you take a breath in, stretch away the backs of the hands, come up onto tiptoes. And breathing out, lower the hands and lower the heels. Breath in, stretch up onto tiptoes. And breathing out, coming down. One more time, breath in, come up. And then see if you can hold the tiptoes, keep stretching away the backs of those hands. Imagine someone's pulling you up to the ceiling. And then breathing out, coming all the way down. Okay, so give the shoulders a little shake. See how we're doing for time. And so we're going to work with our... Hello, we have a visitor. Hello, darling. How are you? Yes. Are you good girl? Sorry, don't mind me. Just get distracted by my cat. So we're going to do some yoga. Yeah? Are you talking? Are you talking? Yeah. Okay, so let's take the feet nice and wide. I do apologise. So let's take the feet nice and wide. This could be interesting. Look at you, all hairy. Okay, so we're going to bring the hands behind the back. Don't shout at me. Mummy's doing yoga. Interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, straighten the arms. We'll take a breath in, straighten the spine. As we breathe out, we start to fold forward from the hips, keeping those legs nice and straight. And then when you get to your forward bend, straighten the arms up towards the ceiling. Gorgeous. Oh, no, you can't play with that. It's Mummy's crystal. Oh, you're going to swat me in the face. Keep stretching away the backs of those hands. And then lower the arms, release the hands. We'll bring the hands now so that they should be directly in line with the face, but I'm going to squash my cat, so I'm going to just modify myself here. So trying to keep the legs nice and straight if you can. We're going to come into a twist. Is that all right with you? So let's bring the left hand first of all, so it's directly in line with the face on the mat. I'm not going to touch you, silly girl, aren't you? Okay, so we're going to bring the right hand and rest it on the lower back. So as you take a breath in, push down on that left arm. Bring the right shoulder back, turn the face up to the ceiling if you can. If the neck doesn't feel right, then just look wherever is comfortable for you. And then we're going to extend that right arm up to the ceiling. So using that left arm to rotate the chest up towards the ceiling as well. Keeping the waist nice and flexible, spine nice and flexible. And then we're going to lower the right arm. We're going to swap sides now, so bring the right hand and rest it on the mat or the floor, wherever you are. In line with the face, left hand will come and rest on the lower back. As you take a breath in, push down on the right arm, left shoulder gets rotated up to the ceiling, looking up if the neck allows, and then straighten the left arm up as well. And don't forget to keep breathing. And then lower the left arm. Both hands on the mat now. Sorry, I'm just checking the time. Both hands on the mat now. Keeping the legs straight, we're going to work with something to stretch the inner thighs. So there's a really small looking movement, but it's actually quite strong. So keeping the legs straight if you're able to. We're going to tilt the hips over to the right, so you should feel a pull on the inner left thigh. And then bring the hips back to centre, and then take them over to the left, so it's the inner right thigh where you feel the pull this time. And then come back to centre. We're going to do one more to each side and see if you can get a bit further this time. So back over to the right. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong. And then coming back to centre. And then over to the left. So the inner right thigh feels the pull. And come all the way back to centre. So we're going to start to walk the feet in towards each other a little bit closer now, still fairly wide. And then rotate the feet now so they're facing towards the corners of your mat, so diagonally. Keep those knees nice and soft. We're going to come up into a sort of a standing kind of squat thing. That wasn't really very well explained, was it? Bring the arms out at right angles to the sides of the body, bend at the elbows, and then bring the hands into chin mudra. So we're going to lift the right heel, and then lower, and then lift the left heel, and then lower, lift the right heel once again, and then lower, lift the left heel once again, and then lower. Yep, you guessed it, lift both the heels and then bend the knees, see if you can drop those hips any lower. So really good for the thighs. Standing pose of goddess. Just hold it for a couple more breaths if you can. And then rest the heels down, straighten the legs, drop the arms down. Give the legs a little shake. Okay, take them wide again, not too wide, probably about as wide as they were just now. And then you can have the toes pointing towards the corners of the mat again, so diagonal. We're going to bend the right knee, keep that left leg straight and point the left toes up to the ceiling. So we're just going to hold that. Hopefully that should feel a little bit of a stretch on the left inner thigh, but not too uncomfortable. And of course, if you've got knee problems, this is going to be a little challenging for you. And then I'm going to come over to the left, so right toes up to the ceiling. And then back over to the right, left toes up to the ceiling. And then back over to the left, right toes up to the ceiling. And then coming up to centre. So let's walk the feet in towards each other. Give the legs a little shake. Okay, so we're going to come down into a sort of squat. So you can come up. We'll take the knees quite wide, the feet are wider than hip width, and then we're going to come into a wide-legged squat. Have the arms out in front of you. And hopefully there isn't a wall too close behind you. So you can just round the shoulders now, touch the heels down, and then come down into a seated position. Okay, I'm not sure how graceful that looks, I'll have to watch that back. Okay, so into a comfortable seated position. Doesn't have to be cross-legged, can be however you're comfortable. And then we're going to start to circle the shoulders. So nice big circles, really exaggerate those movements so you're working the shoulder joints. Not sure how long it's going to be before any of us can get a massage, so try and keep those shoulders nice and flexible. And then going back in the opposite direction. You might hear a few crunches or clunks, that's fine, it's all good. And then let's just relax the shoulders down. So we'll take a big breath in now and squeeze the shoulders up nice and close to the ears. And then big old sighs, you just let them fall away. So breath in and squeeze. One more time. And let's drop the chin down to the chest. So we can take the chin up to the right shoulder. And then bring it back down to the chest. Up to the left shoulder. And back down to the chest. Back up to the right shoulder. Back down to the chest. And back up to the left shoulder. Back down to the chest. And then we'll lift the head. Take the right ear over to the right shoulder. Bring it back to centre. And left ear to left shoulder. Back to centre. Right ear to right shoulder. Back to centre. Left ear to left shoulder. And back to centre. We'll turn our face all the way around to the right. And then come back to centre. And all the way around to the left. And back to centre. Once more round to the right. And back to centre. And once more round to the left. And back to centre. So I'd like you to make your way down onto your mat now, ready for your final relaxation. So just making yourselves nice and comfortable. Coming into your best version of Shavasana, whether that be with the legs extended, stretched away, nice big space between the heels and the feet just flopping apart. Or alternatively, you can have the knees bent, but take the feet nice and wide, allow the knees to just fall in together so there's no tension or strain on the legs are still nice and relaxed. And then taking the arms so they're just a little way away from the sides of the body with the palms turned up towards the ceiling. Hands are nice and relaxed so the fingers just naturally curl. And if the neck allows, you can lift the head, look down the centre of the body, and then just rest the head back down on the mat. So just bringing the head in alignment with the spine, tucking in the chin, lengthening the back of the neck, eyes gently closed if you haven't already done so. And then just becoming aware of the breath. No need to count or control the breath in any way, just allow it to occur naturally, smoothly in and out through the nostrils. And then just becoming aware of all the physical meeting points between your body and the mat. So that could be either the backs of the heels or maybe the soles of the feet, depending on how your legs are positioned. Calf muscles, if the legs are extended, the buttocks, and the sacrum maybe, if you've, or the back of the waist if you've got the knees bent. And then the shoulder blades, back of the head, backs of the arms, backs of the hands. And then take the awareness down to the muscles that support the lower spine by the sacral area. Just try and imagine them just softening down just that little bit more. Softening down, sinking into the mat as you relax. And then take your awareness now to your belly button. And imagine that there's a beautiful golden healing light radiating from your belly button. And it's travelling down through your legs, through your hips, through your thighs, through your knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, and out through the tips of your toes into the world. And it's travelling up your body, through the chest and the rib cage, the upper body, up through the neck, into the head, and out through the crown of the head, through the shoulders, through the upper arms, through the elbows, the lower arms, the hands, and out through the tips of the fingers. This beautiful golden healing light radiating from all of those areas. Just try and hold that image if you can, bathing in this beautiful golden light. And so it's nearly time to end this final relaxation. So just gently starting to wake the body up with just small movements at first, maybe the fingers, the toes. And then slightly larger movements, so circling the ankles, circling the wrists, waking up the joints. And maybe waking up the neck, so perhaps moving the head from side to side a couple of times. Maybe you fancy a stretch and a yawn. And then keeping the eyes closed for a few more moments, just rolling over onto your preferred side and just stay there for a bit longer. And then in your own time, in your own way, and just make your way up to a seated position. Oh, that's nice, Chiquita. I'm not sure if that's in camera, but I really do apologise if you can see my cat. So we'll finish. Om Shanti. Right in front of the camera. Are you actually for real? You're a funny little thing, aren't you? So thank you, everyone. Apologies for my cat doing her ablutions at the very end there. So thank you all for tuning in and watching me once again. I hope you have a lovely evening and have a great day tomorrow, whatever you're up to. And yeah, I will be here at 5 o'clock tomorrow, as per usual, for anybody who fancies joining me. Otherwise, remember these are all pinned to my page, so and I share them to my personal profile. So if you want to catch up because 5 o'clock doesn't suit you, then that's fine too. All right then, thank you all. Have a lovely time, evening. Mwah. Bye.